Hello and welcome to another live because it is Menopause Awareness Week. And I'm just going to say that again because sometimes these are a little glitchy when they start these Facebook videos. So, hello and welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm Caroline Gaskin and I just tried to record a few minutes ago and for some reason Facebook spat me out. So, I'm back again and I'm going to talk about hot flushes today because those apparently affect 50% of women. And you're just like, oh, what? Only 50% of women? I thought all women got them. But the statistics tell us that. But that is still a quarter of all the women in the world who go through menopause, or quarter of all the people in the world, i.e., half the women are going through menopause who are going to have some kind of hot flush. And a hot flush could be simply heat in your system, or it could be heat with sweats, and that could happen at any time of day. So it can happen unawares, and you're just like, oh, the last time I really don't need this right now. Or it could be something that's regular. It happens at a particular time of night in bed, or it happens, just as you arrive at work. So it would happen for me after I'd cycled into work. I noticed around 10 minutes later I'd break sweat. So I had to learn to get to work earlier so that I didn't break sweat with my first client. And if I did, I had to have a box of tissues next to me and mop my face. and and say sorry, I'm having a menopausal hot flush, and it took me a while to acknowledge that I was in menopause, to talk about it, to realize that that's what was going on for me in the first place, and then to be comfortable saying that's what was going on for me, because it just felt like alien and getting older and blah blah. So the things we can do to help hot flushes, yes, there are. So that statistic, 50% of women, I'm like, well, I certainly didn't go to my doctor to talk about my hot flushes. So how do they know 50% of women suffer from them? Maybe it comes from a decent survey like the Swan study. Maybe it comes from some random survey in the doctor's surgery, which isn't really very useful if we're not going to tell our doctors about it. So, some of these statistics around menopause are difficult to qualify. But nevertheless, they can wake us up and say, okay, we need to do something about this. If 50% of women in menopause are getting hot flushes, what can we do? And certainly if you are post-menopause and you're getting hot flushes, that's something we really need to do some work over, because that shows that there are organs in your body that need a bit of support. They still need support. They needed support in menopause and they're still needing support afterwards. So, starting with hot flushes, the time of day or night that you get them could indicate an organ in your body that needs support, for instance. So if you were waking at 1 o'clock with them, or 3 o'clock with them, or 5 o'clock with them, I might be saying, it's your gallbladder, your liver, your lungs that need support here, and that might be something that we explore. So I've been working with natural health conversations for 25 years as a homeopath, and particularly focusing on this area, menopause, hormonal health, throughout much of it. And then the last 10 years, 15 years, having gone through my own menopause and my own experience around it, wow, women need help. So things you can do from the outset that I always recommend are dry skin brushing with a natural bristle brush in the morning before a shower, and then taking hot and cold showers. And what that's telling your body to do is it's talking to your hypothalamus. That hot and cold shower is reminding the hypothalamus that it can work efficiently. It doesn't always need to work towards overheating you. It can cool you down as well. And so things like infrared saunas, simply starting at home with that dry skin brushing and then doing hot and cold showers every day. Do that every day for 2 weeks and see if your hot flushes calm down. Even if they changed by 20%, that is a win. And then it's like, okay, what do I need to do next? I've still got these, they're still bothering me. What can I do next? And we can look about what we're putting in our body which might be causing heat and inflammation. So classic ones would be alcohol, tea, coffee. These would be things that I would say eliminate from your diet. eliminate refined sugars from your diet, because these can have they give the liver a heavier workload for a start. They start to disorder our minerals, which is a whole other conversation around looking after our bones. But in terms of what we're trying to do with hot flushes is give the liver less detoxification tasks to do, because hot flushes are what we'd say in Chinese medicine terms, they're what we call liver heat rising. So the liver has got too much work to do. It's trying to break down excess hormones, and those hormones could be things like the birth control pill that you've had in the past, morning after pill, IVF medication, HRT, thyroxine, melatonin. All these need to be broken down once we've used them. There's a whole load of other hormones that we use, insulin all the time. The liver's got work to do, but at menopause it has kind of more work to do. So we need to support it in its action. And something like the dry skin brushing, hot and cold showers will help. You might factor in a regular infrared sauna. You can get, sauna bags at home. I have one of those, or you can find a local sauna that you can go to on a weekly basis. That could really help. So you're teaching your hypothalamus to regulate more efficiently. Some of those processes are also helping with detoxification, so they're lessening the liver's load, and then we can support the liver in its function and say put in some essential fatty acids. So we can also do things like the Australian bushflower essences, where we've got purifying essence. We could take that regularly, take that morning and night, and that will help with the detoxification process. There's an aspect, if we're sweating a lot, of balancing the waters of the body. So we might need to utilize something like electrolytes or ionic minerals to put back what we're losing through the sweats. So magnesium as well. We might put back the magnesium into the body that we're losing through sweats. And then that will help with the whole kind of metabolic process, the enzymatic process of the body, in order to bring us into regulation. And getting outside and taking a walk every day, encouraging the body to move more efficiently, to move, the organs of the body to move, to do their function. So I'm sure if we look to Qigong, there would be specific exercises to help with liver detoxification. So in yoga, it would be the twists. The twists help with detoxification. They help the body to do its work more efficiently. We let go of what the liver's holding on to, and suddenly the hot flushes are not so much of an issue. So check into other foods which actively cause heat as well. Some women say, I just can't do hot drinks anymore. Some women say, I can't do chilies anymore. Spicy foods, those are creating hot flushes. And we've got some fantastic homeopathic remedies for steadying our nerves, I would say. So I gave a remedy recently called ambrogresia to someone who's, what she was finding is that when she was in a meeting and she thought she was going to have to speak anytime soon, she felt embarrassed, and that would bring on a hot flush. So this remedy, ambrogresia, helped her with her hot flushes. Helped her with being embarrassed, and thereby she didn't get the hot flushes. And I said to her afterwards, she said, oh, I need some more of that remedy. I said, well, are you still getting the hot flushes in the meetings? She's like, no. I said, no, it's fine. Don't need to keep taking the remedy. It's done its work. And so things are on a much more even keel now. Taking a cold shower before bedtime, or a cooler shower before bedtime, if you are getting hot flushes at night, can help. Sleeping on a nice cotton towel. Wearing more natural fibres. I find that really, really helps. So if you're prone to wearing, synthetic fleeces, apart from the fact that they're made out of microplastics, you might want to look at natural fibres that allow your body to breathe more efficiently. So, silks, linens, cottons, wool, etc., might be better for you than a kind of polyester mix or a viscose, which are non-natural fibres. I mean, viscose rayon is it's a slightly more natural fibre, but these days most of it isn't actually very natural. So I spent all of my youth, as all of us did in the 1970s, with nylon pajamas and nylon bed sheets, which I think have probably been banned these days. But if it was a fire hazard, but I mean, I just would boil in those. I've always felt like that with synthetic fabrics. So if you're particularly sensitive to certain fabrics, that's something that, for instance, the homeopath would take on board in terms of prescribing for you. So there's lots of tips there. Another one is to hydrate well. Now, if you think I drink loads, but I still get very hot, I still get very dry, it could be that you're not efficiently hydrating. So something that I reminded my daughter to do was to have some coconut water, to put in a squeeze of lime, to put in a few like a teaspoon of chia seeds, to put in a pinch of good quality salt in a big, kind of 500 ml glass, and to drink that in the morning, and your body will absorb. It will absorb the water and retain the water. So if there's an imbalance of water in your system, which again can be quite common, you can hold on to water at menopause. Then that could be a good tip for you. So starting at the beginning of the day, hydrating well, filter your water as well. Please get rid of the fluoride and the chlorine. That's just two less chemicals in your body chemistry. So get rid of the fluoride and the chlorine. Maybe do something to encourage your body to hydrate more efficiently. Eat an apple a day. That actually helps you hydrate as well. Interestingly, the pectin has an action there. And then do your dry skin brushing before a shower. Do a hot and cold shower. Make sure you've got essential fatty acids, magnesium in your life. Maybe think about some targeted homeopathic remedies to help with detox. You could use the Australian bushflower essence, the purifying essence. I'll put a link for that below. And then at the end of the day, cooling down, spending time away from the screen, actually, because if the heart rate's raised when you go to bed because you kind of pushed yourself into screen watching beyond 11 p.m., that will raise your heart rate, raise your heat, and plunge you into waking at weird o'clock with a sweat. So there's a few good tips in there that you can do, which are general tips to help with hot flushes. And if you've got them beyond menopause and you're already doing this, then I encourage you to see a practitioner, because you really can reduce hot flushes. Really, really, you don't want to be having them into your 80s. I had a client in her 80s who had hot flushes, and we needed to make sure that she didn't have bromine in her life. Bromine is used as a flame retardant. So a new bed, for instance, if you're not having a natural fibered mattress doesn't need flame retardants. A natural fiber sofa doesn't need flame retardants. Spending 8 hours a day in a bed sprayed with flame retardants, bromine disrupt your body chemistry, and suddenly you've got hot flushes. So sometimes it's kind of a bit of a detective work to find out why this is still going on. The vast majority of it is about letting go of toxicity stored in the liver, recalibrating the hypothalamus, and then we get back on track. So lots there to consider, and I'm going to leave you there. Have a good evening, and or a day, wherever you are in the world, and see you soon.